Howdy folks, Stray-Cat74 here. Welcome back to the Basement of Solitude. I've got some gear we're going to look at. I try to do gear when I can. Most of this I've had for a while. Some of it is brand new to me. Others of it is repackaged. So let me start off with something I've had for probably about 10 years now, and I use them every year, and they've really saved my butt literally a couple of times. And that is, the box is over here. The box is a little ratty because, well, I use it. I put them back in here when I'm done using them. These are Yak Track walkers, and you can see, that's what they're supposed to look like as far as the box is concerned. But like I said, the box is falling apart. So let me show you the actual items themselves, and I have them on the shoes that I literally just went to the mailbox with not 10 minutes ago. So the shoes are really flimsy, but the Yak Track walkers are not. As you can see, there's rust on, or a little bit of rust and discoloration on there. I use these every year. As you can see, there's no tread on these shoes at all. I've literally worn these out, and these were the $10 shoes out of Walmart. I have to get size 12 because they don't carry 11.5 extra wide. 12 wide is as close as I can get, which means there's room at the toe and not enough room this way. Just not enough room. So they do come in a pair, and I really should have picked a different pair of shoes because, as you can see, both of these shoes are falling apart. They're really easy to put on and take off. Let me go ahead and do that with a better pair of shoe. I should have planned this a little better because I just threw these on, and Swedish Chef moment, throwing them off. So here's a decent pair of shoes. These are like, well, they were $25 when I started to buy them a couple of years ago. Now they're like $25. Well, these were 20. No, these were the $10 shoes, then they were the $20 shoes. Now they're like 25. And so let me show you how this works. Okay, they come folded up like this, and they're usually wrapped around each other. Something like that. Okay? These are made of rubber and spring, kind of like a Tigger, for those of you old enough to get that reference. So what you do is you unfold. The bigger piece here goes in the back. The narrower piece here goes in the front. So what we're going to do is hook the toe right there, pull and stretch over the back, and then just straighten it up on the shoe. Trying to do this where up here, not down where I have the best leverage. And as you can see, there it is. Fits on pretty much any shoe. It does have a little bit of grip to it, so it's going to go like that. So if you care too much about your shoes and you don't want them curling over like they're witches' shoes, with the little curly toe thing, or elf shoes, or I don't follow fashion, so I don't know how that works. I personally know quite a few witches. Most of them live down in Atlanta, but they're good people, except when they're not, in which case they're really bad, and I like it. Excuse me. Now let's do the other shoe. Let's see if I can do this more in the camera. So hook the toe. I'm trying to watch the camera. That doesn't work so well. So hook the toe on, then pull, and then kind of peel it up around the edges. Square it up. You'll see how it catches right like that all the way around. And I'd take the camera outside, but my camera's my laptop right at the moment. I don't have video editing software. That's one of the reasons I asked for donations and suggestions in the comment section of an inexpensive, easy to use, idiot-proof, intuitive editing software As always, if you want to donate to the channel, link in the description for PayPal, for my PayPal. But yeah, quick, easy, and I spent 5 minutes babbling about Yak Track walkers. Like I said, I've had these for years, and you can see some discoloration in the steel from where I don't clean them when I'm done using them. Then I stick them on a shelf until, the next winter when I put them back on my shoes. I usually keep these on one pair of shoes, and then I have, down here, 2 or 3 more different pair of shoes. The ones that were on there, I'm going to be throwing those out. But I've got a set of camouflage pattern shoes. These are the ones I wear on a daily basis, and yeah, they're starting to show their wear on the bottom. And $20 for a pair of shoes, slip them on, kick them off when I'm driving a big truck, and yeah. So I have these handy for when I'm not in an ice-filled parking lot. I have the Yak Track walkers for when I am in an ice-filled parking lot. Also, unless you're walking on linoleum, these don't have sharp edges. I'm going to rub on here pretty damn hard. There's no sharp edges. It'll catch the ice, and since it's at different angles, you won't slide. But unless you're walking on like linoleum, you're not going to mess up the floor any. Even if you are walking on linoleum, like I walk through the kitchen with these on all the time. I haven't managed to screw up my kitchen floor yet, but walking on concrete, walking on tile, they make a weird noise when you do that, but you're not going to mess them up any. Like I said, I've had these for this particular pair, I've had for at least 5 years, but I've been using these for over 10 years now. I really like them. My first pair did not wear out. I misplaced them, which is why I had to replace them about 5 years ago. And as long as I can keep these, I'm going to. There's no sense in replacing something that's perfectly good and works. They do make a one step higher pair that's got a retaining strap that goes across here with Velcro. I haven't ever felt the need for that, but if I was going to be doing a lot of backwoods walking, then yeah, I would probably want to do that, tromping through snow and such. The Pros, that's what it is. The Yak Track Walker Pro has the strap that goes across here. Highly recommended, but anything that keeps you from slipping and falling on your butt, hence the saving my butt reference, is a big plus. Next thing I got is an expanded kit. I bought this off of eBay because I've always wanted an old-fashioned flint and steel. And, well, I got some money for Christmas, and this is one of the things I spent that money on. Like I said, Yak Tracks, I've had those for years. Literally for years. This I only just bought recently. I haven't had really a chance to fiddle with it or mess with it. I have expanded on the kit because it literally came in a little pouch. It had 2 pieces of English flint and the steel, high carbon steel. So this is from, helps if I do it right side up, Vern's Flint and Steel. I bought this kit off of eBay for, it's like $25 delivered, which was a heck of a lot better than most of the other flint and steel kits. Now, it's a woman's purse, okay? But I don't care. It's a container. Came in this little bag, and I've stuffed it full of other stuff. You can see I've got some cordage here. So let's dive in. And literally, I was fiddling with this and forgot to put this back in the bag. So this is an old pair of bootlaces. So, actually, I think this is only one bootlace. So it's a really long piece of bootlace, but it's the heavy cotton, so you can fire this up. And pardon the way the color balance is bouncing around like that. I do apologize. Like I said, I'm using my laptop. My lighting's not exactly the best. If I turn on the big lights up here, it'll flood everything out. But let's dive in, shall we? Okay. first thing you find in the top of this kit that I've added it to is several pieces of Georgia fatwood. And this stuff smells wonderful. So I've got a couple of sticks. Now they were a lot longer. As you can see, I broke that one down a bit. I had to take a couple of inches off the end. And I've got, you know, like I said, several pieces. The broken off bits are in the bag. So they're in here someplace. Next thing I've got is, you may remember these from a earlier video, the cotton ball fire starters that we made a couple of years ago. I made a ton of these, and I've just got this old pill bottle, and I put them in there, and this is a medium-sized pill bottle, and I'm trying to get it to not do that anymore. This is a medium-sized pill bottle, and I just stuffed, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 in here. You can probably cut those down into quarters, so you can get a bunch. Okay, you probably get 24 fires out of this if you're cheap. Cotton balls are cheap, wax is cheap, petroleum jelly's cheap. You can make these really cheap. I only put this many in there just because that's all the room I had in the bag. Fatwood chip. Fatwood chip. There should be another one in here someplace. I've got some chapstick. You can use this for, you know, as an emergency candle, or putting on your lips, you know, use as directed. But who wants to do that? Here's that piece that I broke off the fatwood. You can see this is how long it used to be, and then I broke it. I just had to take that much off to get them to fit in the bag. So 3 small chunks, 3 larger chunks, and it smells wonderful. Then I've got ferrocerium rod and steel. Oh, can I do it on this one? Yeah, that works. So let's see what else we have in here. We have turbo lighter. Let's see, what do we have? We have an Opnel folding knife, and this is really interesting in the way that it works. Now let me back up just a little bit. There we go. This is interesting in the way that it works. It has this ring right here. So instead of having a traditional folding lock, you rotate. You can probably see the little notch right here. You rotate that notch to line it up with the blade. Then you can unfold, and then you twist this to lock the blade in place, and it's a very good mechanical hold. This is nice small knife. Fits well in my ham-sized hands, and what is this, like a 4-inch blade? Let me grab a measuring stick, because I honestly don't remember. Yeah, 4-inch blade. Oh, just shy of, no, that's a little over 3. 3 1/4 by the looks of it. There we go. So it's a good size for dropping in your pocket or putting in a kit like this. This is a number 8. I was expecting it to be much larger, but it's a really interesting way they do this. I really like that design. It's simple, straightforward, and keeps the blade secure. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it here, but there's a little dovetail right there. And as you twist it this way, it locks behind the end of the blade, so you cannot unlock it or open it. So give it a little bit of twist, unfold, twist to lock it back into place. And it holds up underneath the edge of the blade here. Ooh, that works a lot better if it'll stay in focus. Then that lines up with the line to fold it like that, and then twist. So I've got this in my fire kit, and I believe I haven't actually tried this. So I'm doing this live for the first time on camera. Fire steel. Yeah, nice 90-degree spine, so that you can throw a spark with this knife. Like I said, this is a number 8. I don't remember how much this cost me. I've actually had this for a while now. I just haven't done a video on it because I really don't have all that much to say. Yeah, I know, me, not talking a lot. Go figure. But that's in this kit as well. And then we get to another thing. I actually saw this in a video by Coalcracker Bushcraft. This is the first time I ever heard of something like this. He used brass. I didn't have a brass tube handy, but I did have a couple of pieces of copper laying around. So I took a foot-long piece of copper, cut it into 3 or 4 inch pieces, 3-inch pieces, because I got 4 of these out of a 1-foot tube, and then I just have a lamp wick. Now, this is a tinder tube. He used a smaller brass tube and a cotton line. I've tried ordering cotton line from China 3 times, and I've been waiting like months for any of it to show up. It keeps getting lost in the mail. And because it's out of China, they don't care. You've spent, what, 25 cents to get it? It took 2 months to get there, and then all you received is an empty package? Oh, we'll send you a new one. It's been 6 months. Don't buy from from China. Bunch of damn crooks over there. Or at least not from those sellers on eBay, I should say. I get a lot of stuff out of China. I even go through eBay for most of it, but they put a tracking number on it, and then all you get is an empty package. They don't have to refund you. I'm still fighting with eBay over that shit. Anyway, here's how this works. You take your wick. I'm trying to get it to stay in focus. You char the end here, and then when you do your flint and steel, I'm not doing this right, but when you do your flint and steel, it catches the spark in the charred end of the wick there. You blow on it to keep it going, put it into your tinder, transfer the fire over, and then when you're done, pull it back in. Don't use a flammable lighter. Use a piece of your fat wood or something. Smother the spark. Drop this back in your kit, and as you can see, we've got probably at least 100 uses worth of that in there, and when you need more, just push it out. But the tube protects the end of the charred material, which you can see up in there. See? Like I said, I was able to make 4 of these out of a 1-foot piece of copper. Brass will work. You could probably even do it with PVC. This is just what I had around. I did have to buy a package of wicks. I had an old one, and it's in one of my other kits. I've got 2 or 3. I've got one kit that I carry in my car, which is actually over here next to me. We'll be diving into that one here in a little bit. I've got my emergency orange kit that goes in my pickup truck when I drive that. I can pull that one out and show it to you, but it's basically the same stuff, but more abbreviated than my car kit. But I got one of these in there as well. So tinder tube, very handy. Now we get to what actually came in the order here. We've got 2 pieces of English flint, and I know there's a way that you're supposed to be able to nap these. I don't know. I'm a percussion rifle guy. I don't do flint and flintlock rifles. So I know there's a way to nap these so that they work better. I don't know how to do that yet. And then here's the steel part of the flint and steel. This is a piece of, I believe it's either 1075 or 1085. I would have to check Vern's Flint and Steel website, which is, let's see, eBay store, Vern's Flint and Steel, or vernsflintandsteel.net, all one word. Hey, Vern. Now, he did not send this to me for a review. I bought this. So, just to let you all know, I would love to have a couple of sponsors, and I would love for Vern's Flint and Steel to send me money. I'd like anybody to send me money at this point in time, but this is not a sponsored video. So, oh, got spark. Not a lot, but like I said, I've only done this 2 or 3 times, so humans have been making fire like that for millennia. So that's why I wanted one of these. And you'll see this is real simple, straightforward. This is really good steel. As a blacksmith knife maker, I would use this for a knife. That's how good a steel this is. There are qualities of steel, and if you don't get the right stuff, you don't get a good knife. You might have an okay tool, but not a great knife. But this would make good knife steel, and makes excellent flint and steel. Yeah. So let's repack this. And I'm going to remember to put my shoelace back in here, or bootlace. Chapstick, knife, tinder tube. Such 00 has a saying that, 3 is 1, 1 is none. So I always have multiple ways to start fire. So I've got my ferrocerium rod and steel. I've got my old-fashioned English flint and steel, and refillable little torch lighter. I'm going to toss the smaller pieces in here. Then I believe I need to put that in. And then work these in around. I have to tuck it in, press it, and then stuff. Yeah, now it doesn't want to go back in for me. There we go. One Vern's Flint and Steel kit, stuffed to the gills above and beyond what it probably should hold, but drop it back in the bag. And that fat wood smell. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. I've always liked the smell of wood fires. We used to have a wood stove in our house, and even though it was a lot of damn work, and I was very young at the time, still love that smell. And that's what this fat wood reminds me of. That smell, that fresh cut wood smell. And I can't smell it inside the bag, but Vern's Flint and Steel kit, like I said, it was like $25 delivered, a little purse, 2 pieces of flint, and a steel. Then I added to it, because that's what I do. I add stuff. I hope I'm adding to your day, bringing you some interesting stuff here. Now, we're already at 23 minutes of me babbling about one fire kit and my shoes. Let's go ahead and dive into this other thing, and I'll try and keep it fairly quick. I bought on Amazon.com, and I will include a link in the description below, for a butt pack, and it was way bigger than I was expecting. And of course, I've added a bunch of stuff to this. First thing you'll notice is I've got a tomahawk. Let me set this out of the way of the camera. I've got a tomahawk. These were on sale, believe it or not, for $14 a piece. And they came as a pair. ABS plastic. Very sharp. Came with these handy sheath. So cool. Then I have on this side, I have some cooking stuff. I've got my Boy Scouts of America aluminum camping set that I've had for more decades than I really care to count. I've got a 2-quart canteen with the NBC lid. I've got my hammock in here. I've got my hammock. This just came in the mail today. This is a rainfly for a hammock. On the very top, I've got first aid kit and more ways to start fire. So first aid, where you can get to it, I've got some Tylenol here, some emergency fire starting. This has got all strike anywhere match, ferrocerium rod, a couple of we were just looking at cotton ball fire starters in the little yellow container up in here. So that's right here on the top where it can be got too fast. Now this thing holds an amazing amount of stuff for how expensive it is. It is literally twice as big as I was expecting. And I just kept putting stuff in there. I'm like, oh, hey, I still got room for this. Hey, I still got room for that. I'll put it in here. And guess what? With the, what are these, Molly straps? Stick that through your belt. Hang it off your, great, now I can't get the little button back in. Hang it off your duty belt. This is a emergency to-go bag or get home bag. As you can see, I have a little dangling flashlight. I also have a headlamp here, and there's stuff all over in here. So let me set that aside, and this is the, just off screen here, this is the kit I keep in the trunk of my car. I've actually gone through this 2 or 3 times, reorganizing. I've got 2 different methods of water filtration in there, and that's a shoe. Come back over here. This is the orange kit that I keep behind the driver's seat of my pickup truck when I'm driving around. This is a Pelican case, and I actually don't know what this was for, but I've got a water bottle here. Which side is that on? Okay, that's on the bottom. And if we snap it open, it's stuffed full. We can see this has a lot of the same gear as my butt kit, our butt pack. You know, we've got our survival straw here. I've got some, I need to aim this down more. We've got some U.S. Army trioxane fuel bars. We've got my survival necklace. Each of these items is in a larger form in the bigger kit. I've got some drink stuff. I've got poncho. You can see my first aid kit here. I've got a titanium spork. I've got a fishing knife. These have been around for decades. My dad actually just recently gave me this. So there's a fish scaler, bottle opener, very important when you're fishing. You have to be able to open those bottles of beer, root beer, whatever. You also have the little hook on the end. Let me aim it back up a little bit. Hook on the end for getting your hooks out of the fish. You also got the scaler here for scaling your fish. Then flip it around here, and you've got a wicked sharp knife. Now, what makes this a fishing knife other than the scaler is if you look on the side here, you have a sharpener for sharpening your hooks. My dad had a few of these. He gave me one. He gave my brother one. I don't think my brother's been fishing in over 30 years. I've been fishing twice in 30 years. I drank beer and drove the boat. Everybody else did the fishing, but that's my idea of fishing. You know, if I really want fish, I know where I can go into town and buy already fried fish. Really good around here, especially on Fridays. Fish fry Fridays. Very good stuff. Little imitation Swiss Army knife from Walmart that was really cheap. That's a Ozark Trail. And it's just like, well, it's not just like, it's about half the quality of a Swiss Army knife, but it's still a very good kit. It used to have a little ring on here. I took the ring off, but you got your, your usual implements. This is like a Swiss Army champ, but like I said, it's It's good, but it ain't as good as Swiss Army. The scissors here really doesn't work for me. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, or maybe I just got a bad one. But the ones that aren't Swiss Army knives work really good. These, not so much. Everything else on it works really good. The knife itself is really sharp. It's stainless. I don't know what kind of stainless, but really good knife. A lot of tools on here. I try and keep one in each of my kits. So emergency blankets, all kinds of stuff. So let's close that up, snap it, and those are my two kits. One in my car, one in my pickup truck, and I think a half hour of me babbling is long enough. Let me take a shot of coffee, and I will bid you good day, good morning, good evening, good night, whatever. From the Basement of Solitude, Stray Cat 74. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Hit the little bell icon so you can be notified when I upload new stuff. I've been doing Minecraft Mondays, Tanking Tuesdays, Fallout Fridays, and general gear, survival, reloading, shooting. I do some blacksmithing, but right at the moment my tent is a solid block. My forge tent is a solid block of ice from, the 6 inches of snow we got, and then the 6 inches of rain we got, and it's literally 14 degrees outside right now. That was the high today in central Wisconsin, here in the valley. So from the Basement of Solitude, we'll see you later.